Welcome to This Explainer. Look, as a safety expert, I'm here to empower you with some serious, data-driven knowledge about your newborn's car seat. If you're an expecting parent, picking the right seat is huge. It's literally the first thing your baby uses on that monumental ride home from the hospital. So today, we're cutting through all that marketing noise and translating high-level crash test data into practical, everyday safety for your driveway.
But first, check out this staggering statistic. 95% of parents make at least one critical error in positioning or installation on that very first ride home. And according to top pediatric studies, these aren't just, minor hiccups. They're critical errors that genuinely increase the risk of injury in a crash. Because the truth is, even the absolute best, most expensive car seat on the market just cannot protect your baby if it isn't used correctly.
So, to fix that, here is our agenda. We're going to cover 1. Beyond federal standards. 2. Decoding crash test data. 3. The rear-facing advantage. 4. The rigid latch benefit. 5. Common car seat mistakes. And finally, 6. Secure setup steps.
Let's dive straight into Section 1, Beyond Federal Standards.
Now, here's a truth that might actually surprise you. Every single car seat legally sold in the U.S. passes the exact same federal crash test standards. It's known as FMVSS 213. So whether you're dropping $100 or $600, that seat has met the government's baseline. But independent testing facilities, they take this a whole step further. They use modern crash sleds that actually mimic today's vehicles. And they run tests at much higher speeds than the federal requirement. So while the federal standard is basically just pass or fail, independent crash testing is way more reliable because it reveals the distinct differences in the true margin of safety between models.
All right, moving on to Section 2, Decoding Crash Test Data.
So, what are safety engineers actually looking at? Well, when a crash sled fires, the test dummy takes on some immense forces. Engineers primarily measure two things: the risk of head injury, that's the head injury criterion, or HIC, and the risk of chest injury, measured by chest clip G-forces. Why those two? Because auto crash data shows head and chest injuries are the absolute highest risks for serious outcomes in infants. So you definitely want to see lower HIC and G-force readings. Lower numbers mean a significantly reduced risk of severe injury for your baby. Essentially, the less force transfer to the dummy, the better the seat is at absorbing all that crash energy.
Let's actually compare some crash test sensor results for a few models so you can see what I mean. These numbers are performance ratings on a 1 to 10 scale based on those sensor readings, where higher ratings mean the seat recorded lower, safer G-forces. Notice how the Nuna Pipa RX scored an incredibly impressive 9.0 in both categories? That means it transferred very little force. Meanwhile, seats like the Duna and UPPAbaby Mesa V3, which, remember, absolutely pass all federal baselines, have noticeably lower scores in these hotter, faster, independent tests. Seeing this data really paints a clear picture of which seats offer that coveted extra margin of safety in the real world.
Next up, Section 3, the rear-facing advantage.
I know you might be super eager to turn your child around so you can finally see their face in the rearview mirror, but science says wait. Rear-facing is a massive 5 times safer in frontal crashes. And frontal impacts are the most common serious collision type, making up about 72% of severe crashes. When a kid is forward-facing, their heavy head gets thrown forward, concentrating all that devastating force right on their delicate neck and spinal cord. But a rear-facing seat? It acts like a giant catcher's mitt. It distributes the impact force evenly across the baby's incredibly strong back, head, and neck, absorbing the energy and dramatically increasing their newborn's safety margins. In fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics has completely updated its guidance. They totally removed that old age 2 milestone. Now they recommend keeping kids rear-facing until they max out their seat's height or weight limits, which is often up to age 4 or even 5. Basically, every single extra month you keep your kiddo rear-facing is a month of added, mathematically proven protection.
Let's talk hardware in Section 4, the rigid latch benefit.
You generally have 2 ways to install your car seat base: the vehicle seatbelt or the latch system. Now, latch stands for lower anchors and tethers for children. And while both methods are technically equally safe if you do them perfectly, let's be real. Getting a seatbelt perfectly tight and properly locked can be a massive, frustrating struggle. Rigid latch systems, though, they provide a tight, error-free install that totally removes the guesswork. It's literally a direct metal-to-metal connection to your car's frame. You just push it in until you hear a loud, satisfying click. For sleep-deprived new parents, this foolproof installation is an absolute game-changer.
Moving along to Section 5, Common Car Seat Mistakes. So, why do pediatricians and safety techs prioritize proper installation right alongside crash test data? Because everyday hazards can literally undo all that brilliant engineering. Take puffy winter coats, for example. In a crash, all that fluff compresses down, adding 2 to 3 inches of extremely dangerous slack to the harness. Your baby could literally slide right out of the seat. So always remove coats and just lay a blanket over them instead. Also, never use untested aftermarket accessories like strap covers or head supports if they didn't come in the box. You also really need to ensure the correct recline angle for newborns so their heavy head doesn't slump forward and block their airway. Oh, and never use latch and the seatbelt at the same time. It can actually create conflicting force paths during a crash, which reduces protection.
This really hits the nail on the head. Your daily attention to proper usage matters way more than a premium price tag. A budget-friendly $170 Graco, strapped down super tight and used perfectly according to the manual, will protect your child so much better than a $400 luxury seat that's loose or has twisted straps. Safety isn't just a fancy product you buy, it's a habit you practice every single day.
Which brings us to our final section, secure setup steps.
I want you to burn these 3 essential steps into your memory for achieving a secure, foolproof seat installation. Step 1, the 1-inch rule. Grab the car seat right at the belt path, where the seatbelt or latch strap passes through, and give it a firm tug, side to side and front to back. The seat should move less than 1 inch. If it wiggles more than that, tighten it up. Step 2, for rear-facing seats, make sure those shoulder straps originate from the slots exactly at or just below your baby's shoulders. Step 3, the pinch test. Once buckled, try to pinch the harness webbing together right at your baby's collarbone. If you can pinch any extra fabric, that harness is too loose. Just pull the tightening strap until your fingers slip right off the webbing.
So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Is your beautifully engineered car seat performing poorly because of a simple installation error? We've looked at the crash test data, we understand the physics, and we know the rules, but the power to maximize your newborn's safety margin isn't just in some lab. It's literally in your hands, right there in your driveway, every single time you buckle them in. Check your install, do that pinch test, and you'll be able to drive with absolute peace of mind.